We don't need more guns. What we need are the strongest gun laws in the nation. We have those. They can always be stronger.
Governor Lamont joined state officials, mayors, and law enforcement from across the state to unveil the first in a series of proposals he claims will eliminate gun violence in Connecticut.
Doesn't do us any good to say we're in one of the safest states in the country, sixth safest, if people don't feel safe.
His proposals include investing more money in community violence intervention programs, banning open carry, limiting handgun purchases to one per month, and updating the state's ban on unregistered ghost guns.
This is something that will make a real difference right now.
Lamont continues its anti-gun tirade for the 2023 legislative year. Welcome to another installment of the Connecticut Gun Bench. Today's video is brought to you by PAN Firearms, LLC. PAN Firearms, your NRA certification and multifaceted gun training. You can reach us at 203-300-6343 or use our website at www.panfirearmsllc.com. As always, there'll be a link in the description box below. And let's talk about this. No surprise here. We know it, for the Connecticut constituents, we know what Lamont's all about, okay? He's just an emotionally driven individual, and he has once again come up with a whole new section of basically gun control, gun violence, he likes to call it, proposals aimed at curbing, crime in general. There's only one problem. Everything that he is proposing has nothing to do with crime. But I'm going to go ahead and bring this to you because you got to know, you got to be informed. And once again, another waste of time in legislation. But you saw that from the intro. There's no doubt that he's going to get his lackeys on board for this whole thing. So don't expect much. But I'm going to come over here. Fox 61 article. Title, First Gun Violence Prevention Proposal Announced by Lamont. Gun violence prevention. Yeah. Okay. The proposals include investing millions in community violence intervention programs, limiting handgun purchases, and updating the law on ghost guns. As I said right from the beginning, none of this has to do with crime. Governor Ned Lamont gathered with state officials, mayors, and law enforcement at the Waterbury Police Department to announce the first in a series of legislative proposals aimed at curbing gun violence. Monday's press conference came after the deadly mass shooting in Monterey Park, California over the weekend. I'm actually going to talk about that because that's an interesting phenomenon that if you haven't caught the little nuances, especially from people like Chuck Schumer, you're going to get that a little bit later. But it's amazing how they use this mass shooting in California to say, oh, we need to propose gun control here. You never let a tragedy go to waste. They are the epitome of, put it plain and simply, ignorance. Quote, we are so much stronger as a people than the hateful. He's referring to Monterey. Like I said, there's a nuance to that situation out in California that's now starting to come back and backfire on these people. But I'm going to stick to this. Said Connecticut Attorney General Tong, who's been an ardent anti-gun guy his entire time in the legislature. If you've been in Connecticut long enough, you know who this guy is. He's one-track mind when it comes to this. Many supporters of Lamont's proposal say now is the time to pass these laws. Quote, we don't need more guns, Tong continued. What we need are the strongest gun laws in the nation. We have those. They can always be stronger. Once again, nothing to do with crime. The proposals will be included as part of the governor's package of priorities for the 2023 legislative session, which he will present to the Connecticut General Assembly in February. The proposals include investing an additional $2.5 million in community violence intervention programs. Don't know what those are, so can't speak on that. Banning the open carry of firearms in public while continuing to allow concealed carry with a permit except in particular locations. Once again, how does that prevent gun violence? Who is going to open carry a firearm? A person who is permitted to do so. A criminal's not going to open carry a gun. You kidding me? They don't want that attention. But, like I said, this has nothing to do with crime. limited handgun purchases to one per month to discourage straw purchases, and updating the state's ban on unregistered ghost guns to stop their illegal flow. How can you, okay, damn. Limiting handgun purchases to one per month to discourage straw purchases. You can't discourage straw purchases that way. Who is going to follow this? People who follow the damn law. This isn't going to stop anything. And it's sad that, once again, they're just passing a bunch of laws to heap on the shoulders of people who are willing to follow them under the guise of public safety, gun violence, and every other little talking point they can come up with. Absolute garbage. Now, ghost guns. Well, ghost guns are illegal. So who's going to have them? Criminals. So updating the state's ban. How much further can you ban them? They're banned. They're illegal. You can't have one. So if somebody has one, they're breaking the law anyway. How much more can you bring to that? Quote, it doesn't do us any good to say that we're the safest states in the country, sixth safest if people don't feel safe, Lamont added. Gaslighting. But Lamont said, according to national statistics, Connecticut remains one of the safest states in the country, and that violent crime has been decreasing over the last several years. However, one shooting is still too many. I say one stabbing is too many. These people act like gun violence is the epitome of our society. It begins and that all of it begins and ends with the firearm. That getting more and more safer gun control laws is going to prevent gun violence. You just got to look to countries that have a complete ban. Let's look to England. They banned guns. What happened? Knives attacks went up. They banned knives. And yet murders by knives are still prevalent in the country. You cannot legislate a person's behavior. It is so frustrating to watch these people in action. You wonder where their mindset is at. You really do. But Connecticut will continue to take the lead. We have taken the lead on reasonable gun safety. It was that key word, the little cliche words there. Reasonable. Yeah. Gun safety laws. Garbage. Going back to Sandy Hook and well before that, yeah, of course we have to re-invoke Sandy Hook. They won't re-invoke, all the killings that have been done at the hands of people who did not have a gun. Notice these people don't talk about Waukesha. Why not? It doesn't fit the agenda. Doesn't fit. Why should we even bother? Because we look like hypocrites if we say, well, yeah, okay, Sandy Hook, but Waukesha. No, we look stupid even bringing it up. That's why we don't talk about it. This is something that will make a real difference right now. No. Legislative Republicans disagree. Anyone with common sense disagrees. These things were already addressed in the law. Yeah. So these things are already illegal. But we have gun crime. State Rep Craig Fishbein, Republican of Middlefield, said Monday. Those opposed say these proposals will harass and restrict law-abiding citizens while doing little to curb increasing violent crime. Quote, you would hope that legislation is passed not based upon sympathy or emotion, but based upon facts, said Fishbein. Well, that's the only way you can get stuff like this through. It's through emotion. Because if you make people think for a minute and take a step back and go, well, hold on, this doesn't work. But you parade a bunch of victim families through saying, my child, my son, my XYZ. Of course you can get stuff passed on that. That's how it works. It's not based on common sense, and none of these things ever are. If you really want to curb gun violence, you got to actually use common sense, not emotion. Fishbein says he plans to introduce his own package of gun reforms, but Democrats on the House Judiciary Committee say community gun violence will be the top priority this session. The fiscal year 2023 budget adjustment bill Lamont signed into law in May 2022 includes an allocation of $2.9 million for a new statewide community gun violence intervention and prevention program. I have no idea what that is. I've never seen anything of it, but you got to look into it. The program is overseen by the Connecticut Department of Public Health's Office of Injury and Violence Prevention with input from the newly established Commission on Community Gun Violence Intervention and Prevention. If you remember, I did a video on that. To put this commission together, and the way these people, this commission, this body, the way that they elect, they're not even elected, the way these people are appointed, you know for a fact that this community, this little intervention and prevention community that they put together is made up of people who have a singular point of view. I argued that when they had the public hearing. I argued that very vehemently that this is going to lead to a one lopsided view. And that's exactly what these little community boards they put together. They're loaded up with people with an anti-gun point of view. So, like I said, expect some real serious problems coming out of that. But this year, Lamont's fiscal year 2024 and 2025 budget proposal will include an additional $2.5 million to provide more grants for these organizations and allow them to continue their community-based crime reduction efforts. Yeah, we're not giving taxpayer dollars to people with a singular point of view to push their own agenda, then claim it to be public safety. It's a real rat trap that they're setting here. It will also continue funding the staff at the Department of Public Health who oversee this program. They actually tried, this was last year, it was this year actually. No, last year. They tried to claim that gun violence was a health epidemic that then allowed the Department of Public Health to literally make gun proposals and regulations under the guise of public health. That fell apart, so they did it through another bill. And I can't remember the name. I can't remember the name of the bill, but they literally stuck this little committee here, the Committee on Gun Violence Prevention, Intervention, Prevention. They included that in that bill under a public health bill to get these people in. And as I said before, these people are not elected; they're appointed, and the way they're appointed guarantees a singular point of view. But let's come out of here. We should be surprised. Lamont's just this well, let's be clear. Lamont is not anti-gun. He's anti-you having a gun. That's what he's about. Same thing with Tong and all these others. They're not anti-gun. They just don't want you to have a gun. And if you can't have a gun, they're going to decide how you can have it. They will decide for you. I'm not surprised by any of this. Expected it anyway because he does this every year. The one handgun a month, that has been floating around for a while, for decades. That has been proposed every year for a long time. But once again, we have to stay vigilant. We have to contact our state reps and step up because none of this has anything to do with crime. Okay? None of this is going to prevent criminal activity or gun violence. Because they won't do what needs to be done to actually prevent criminal activity. Okay? They're more interested in being wokety woke and equity. But let me know what you think. As always, you can leave your comments in the comment section below. And as always, any statements of violence or statements that lead to violence will be removed. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're notified the next time a video goes live. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.